Hi everyone, I am Datev. I've been a professional life coach for over 15 years now. And today we're going to be talking about depression. As you must have realized, depression is something that affects a lot of us at some point in our lives. And it usually starts as a low mood that turns into a longer low mood. And then before we know it, it turned into depression. One of the first symptoms of depression is overall sadness and irritability around about life, about people, It affects people's sleep patterns, so a depressed person may be sleeping a lot more or less, or the quality of their sleep gets affected. Their appetite changes. Either they eat a lot more or a lot less. Their social interactions get affected, so in the frequency and also in the quality. So when they're around people, they don't enjoy themselves, and after a while they start even avoiding being social. So their overall life gets affected by depression, and also their careers. So as you can imagine, with overall sadness and irritability, their productivity goes down and their sick days go up. And of course, after a while, now their job, their careers get affected as well. Usually what happens with all our well-meaning friends and family members, they usually try to advise depressed people to do things, to get out, to go for a dance, to go for a jog, to go, to do certain things, and, to help themselves snap out of whatever they're reacting to, whatever. Or they may say things like, oh, don't be silly, your reaction towards this thing that happened is just too much, I've been through that, somebody else has been through that. Okay, we were affected by, 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 days. Your reaction is over the top. You're reacting too much. Again, it may be all well-meaning to show the other person that they have a choice about how to react to certain life events. But in reality, it does exactly the same. It has exactly the same effect. So it makes them feel now even worse. So now they're depressed about something else, and now they're becoming self-conscious. Their sense of self-worth gets affected because they can see more and more that somehow that they're not adequate. Their mental health is not well, and of course all these things makes them feel even worse. And certain friends, they start pulling back. Like I said, when their job suffers, they may even end up losing their job because of that. Now they have even more reasons to be depressed about. So you can see depression is like a vicious cycle. It has this very cyclical nature to it. It starts with something else, and then because it affects something else, and now it looks like that to a depressed person, they're like, of course, look at everything else that crumbled in my life or is crumbling in my life. Of course I should be depressed. And like I said, it doesn't help for us to say that it's nothing. If you want to help someone who's depressed, when they inquire from you, when they're asking how can they feel better, this is probably the only time you can gently nudge them to seeking professional help. Because without professional help, as you must have realized, because of its cyclical nature, it can get worse and worse and worse. But with professional help, it can, they can be really helped. By far, most people can really get helped, and sometimes it doesn't even have to take that long for them to start snapping out of their depression. So this is all for this week. Next week we're going to be talking about causes of depression, and the week after we'll be talking about what can we do to help ourselves a little bit, in this aspect little bit, to not be depressed. So thank you very, very much. See you next week.